Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out the Foxeer Razer Nano FPV camera, and I did a video on the Razer Micro version, gosh, it was maybe about a month ago. I'll put that link down in the description if you want to check it out. Obviously this is the Nano version, which is 14 millimeters for the mounting, and the Micro is 19 millimeters. And this camera here is basically competing with the likes of the Runcam Nano 2. As you can see, similar size, also 14 millimeters, similar looking lens, and also the Caddx. This is the Turbo EOS 2, and you can see similar form factor and similar looking lens as well. This one here is a 1.8 millimeter lens, and this one is the 4.3 version and the PAL version. So it comes in 4 different versions, just like the EOS 2 from Caddx. So you can get either the 4.3 version or the 16.9 version, or you can get the PAL version or the NTSC version. So you're going to get a combination of one of those. So you can get either 4.3 NTSC or 16.9 NTSC, 4.3 PAL, or 16.9 PAL. So those are basically all separated out. So you're going to have to be sure as to which one you can get, because you can't switch modes like you can do on other cameras. And the other thing is, as you can see here, just one plug, no plug for an OSD joystick. So unlike the Micro version of the Razer where you can kind of change some of the settings are fixed on this one, just like they are on the Runcam Nano 2 and on also the EOS 2. You can't change any of the settings, they're fixed, and whatever you get out of the box is what you get. Okay, so the voltage range on the power input here is 4.5 volts to 7 volts, which is a little bit better. It's a little higher than I think on some of the other cameras here. I think the Runcam Nano 2 is 4.5 to 5.5 as well as the EOS 2. So be careful to let your voltage don't go over 7 volts, or you may end up frying the camera. Okay, so here's a look at the weight, and this is the Razer Nano, and it's coming at 3.97 grams. This is the EOS 2. It's coming in at 3.36 grams. And this is the Runcam Nano 2, coming in at 3.66 grams. So interesting, this one has like a long wire and connector here, and this one doesn't, but this one weighs a little bit more. Maybe they're adding a little bit more weight into the circuit board, or perhaps the casing. A little hard to tell as to where the weight is, or maybe possibly the lens. Just a touch more heavy on the Razer Nano. Okay, so take a quick look at the image quality of the camera and also the field of view, and here is typical field of view from my little craft room here, and you can see it kind of goes from that door here on the far left all the way over to the bookcase on the far right. It's 150 degrees diagonally for the 1.8 millimeter lens. It's pretty wide both horizontally and vertically, so if that's something that you're interested in, then yeah, the 4.3 version should give you really nice wide field of view for those guys, especially with the wide vertical field of view. I don't have the 16.9 version and I can't show that to you, so I have no idea what that looks like, unfortunately. Okay, so just a quick look at this tiny whip here. You can kind of get an idea what the colors look like. This particular screen on the Immersion RC PowerPlay DVR is fairly accurate in terms of the colors. So what you see here on the screen, depending on what your monitor is doing, of course, is pretty close to what I'm seeing in terms of real-life colors. The color reproduction is decent on this one in, I would say, moderate lighting conditions. In really bright lighting conditions, it does get a little bit washed out. And when you compare this to the Runcam Nano 2 image and also the EOS 2 image, you can go back and look at those other 2 videos. I'll link those down in the description. You can see where I'm flying the cameras at the same park. Basically, the Runcam Nano 2 color is a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more contrasty, and the Razer Nano image is a little bit more washed out, a little bit less, more of a flat image. So it kind of depends on what you like. Some people don't like that. Some people prefer more vibrant colors, and some people prefer a little bit less. The This particular camera does seem to get a little bit more washed out and blown out when you kind of go from a dark lighting situation to a really bright lighting situation, and the light transition speed is about the same on all three cameras. The EOS 2 compared to this one is probably, in my opinion, like the worst of the three out of these cameras. It's very contrasty. There's a lot of red tint on the EOS 2 compared to the other two, and it only looks good in sort of like shaded light, but with a decent background lighting. I think it handles lighting, poor lighting conditions, not as well as these other two cameras, the Razer and the Nano 2. And I think out of the three, this camera here probably handles low light the best out of the three cameras, in my opinion. Anyway, here is a couple of flights, a couple different areas, and you can kind of compare for yourself what this looks like to the other two cameras. I'll link all those videos down in the description. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.